It's National Police Week. Let's go. I mean, geez, the least we could do is give the men and women in law enforcement a week of our love. And we're happy to do that here in Kansas City. Will Akin is the Clay County Sheriff. He joins us here on KCMO Talk Radio. Will, good morning. Thank you for the time. And what are you thinking about this week? I know there's a lot going on around the country, around Kansas City as well, for National Police Week.
Good morning, Pete. Thanks again for having me on the show. What's going through my mind this week is somber. You know, this is a somber week because this is a week that we recognize and honor those who have given their lives in the line of duty, serving their communities. And, you know, this year, over 280 names are added to the wall. But you know what? Over the last 60 years we've been doing this, we keep finding law enforcement officers, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers that continue to do the job. And I'm extremely proud of that. And I'm extremely proud to be a part of that.
How is the recruitment process? You know, we still are finding people, but listen, it's harder than ever for every department. Urban, rural, suburban, it seems like it's more difficult. Everybody is down. How do you change your approach on the recruitment side after what has been a tough few years just with the attacks on the profession at large?
You know, we just keep pushing forward. You know, there are people out there who want to be in law enforcement. It's just there are so many things that are in the way for them to get involved. And, you know, I tell this time and again that if you want to have a police department or a law enforcement agency, municipalities, political subdivisions have to be willing to pay for it. You can't get a professional law enforcement agency on the cheap. And so in order to attract recruits, you need to be able to offer not just a salary, a starting salary, but everything that comes with it. You know, we have a younger generation coming in and their characteristics are vastly different than mine from Gen X. And they expect to work in something that is being portrayed when they see how law enforcement is. So we just need to do better all the way around.
How do you say, hey, I'm a Gen Xer now, you're recruiting, younger millennials and Gen Zers. What are their wants and needs out of curiosity that they look for in the job that maybe was not as prevalent when you were starting in law enforcement?
Gen Z and trailing into millennials, they want to feel valued. They want to feel like they're offering something to the field of law enforcement. They want to learn. And, you know, Gen X, I mean, we learned from baby boomers and they said, hey, I want you to do this right now. We didn't ask, okay, well, how do you want me to do it? You just did it. You figured it out. So they're looking for mentorship. They're looking to be a valued member of the team. And if you don't do that with them, then they're looking for other opportunities elsewhere. So it's not just recruiting. We also have to focus on retention. What are we doing to retain our employees and not just making excuses, oh, those dang millennials or those dang, post-millennials.
Mm-hmm. What about there in Clay County? It's been a little bit. We were up there, what was that, almost a year ago now for our Back the Blue tour. What's been going on with you guys, the department, and, the great things that have been happening up there in Clay County for you as of late?
Oh, man, so many things. The last time you were at our office, we were in the middle of upgrading our jail, which took almost an entire year, but we finally got there. We renovated it. But in the meantime, I think our biggest accomplishment was the fact that our jail was broken, but our team was working through and working on policies and protocols, procedures to eventually earn us 100% accreditation rating through the National Institute of Jail Operations. No other jail in the state of Missouri has been able to accomplish that, and that's something that we're extremely proud of.
Now, what does that mean exactly? You're nice to the inmates, or like what's that defined as?
So we follow all nationally recognized evidence-based procedures that you're supposed to use when running a jail. You know, people think that a jail is where all the bad people go and the criminals go. Yeah, that's where people go to be held accountable. But, you know, we have bad people, but then we have people, good people, who made mistakes. And we have to make sure that we're treating everyone the way we're supposed to and not violate their constitutional rights before they make it to trial. So we have leading practices, not just best practices, but leading practices in the best run jail that we can have.
That's great. Will Akin, Clay County Sheriff, is on KCMO Talk Radio. Last thing there, Will, what is your message to all of law enforcement around Kansas City right now as we continue to celebrate National Police Week here across the country?
Continue to support your your law enforcement community. You know, we have a job, a hard job to do. It's something that we will do willingly, but understand that day in and day out, we have to handle situations where people are experiencing the worst days of their lives. We're humans too. And as long as we feel supported, you know, we're going to continue to do this job. We're going to continue to do the job anyway, but don't let the societal scrutiny that you see on TV, on the celebrity cases, so to say, sway you away from knowing and understanding what your local law enforcement is and who they are. Because at the end of the day, when I take the uniform off, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm your neighbor, I'm a member of this community. So, you know, just continue to support us, and we'll be there for you to serve.
Will Akin, Clay County Sheriff, joining us on National Police Week. Will, thank you so much for the time. As always, keep up the great work, and our best to everybody in the Clay County Sheriff's Department.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks again for having me on the show.
You bet. Excellent work. One of the sharpest guys that we've got the pleasure of having serving our region here on KCMO Talk Radio. That is Clay County Sheriff Will Akin.